Hello, and welcome to Round Glass. My name is Lisa Kring. I'm a licensed clinical social worker and a longtime practitioner of Vipassana Buddhism, a senior teacher of mindfulness meditation. And I'm so excited to be with you here at this time, really exploring how we can, from a mindfulness perspective, how we can start to tame our fears from the inside out. And so it's such a wonderful thing. It's such a beautiful opportunity. I just love it every time we live stream. I get so excited that we're all assembled here to practice, to learn, to share with each other, to connect, especially around this theme of how we can better tame and manage our fears that are just so part of the human condition. So really offering this initial prompt before we move into exploring this theme more, and just wondering, and I'd love for you all to share in the chat. Please share with each other, share with me. Do you ever have the experience, especially in this last very challenging year that we've had, where fear just really hijacks your mind and it literally can kind of take over your life in some way? So please share, and at some point, I'd love to reflect with you on this, just so that we can come together, normalize our experience, not to feel alone with this tendency for all of us, especially when we feel vulnerable. So some people have shared, sometimes there's this fear, this unknown about delayed decision making. Yes, my goodness, it's hard to make decisions when you just don't know the outcome. Someone else says fear of failure. My goodness, of course, that's one of the universal fears. Also, oh my, fear of rejection has kept me from taking risks. Isn't it so true? And I really love what you've shared in the chat, because part of what taming fear is about is that understanding that it is just part of the human condition. And as you shared so wisely, so intimately, so vulnerably in the chat, the fear can really block us from taking the necessary risks that we need to take in life. Fear is inevitable. Failure is inevitable. Vulnerability is inevitable. And so we have to find ways to acknowledge, to really tame, and to learn to walk through the fear so that it doesn't shut us down, right, everyone? So we'll move into this practice. Thank you for your sharing. And as I continue to talk, and we'll move into a guided meditation along this theme that I'm very happy to share, that I hope will be of support to you. It certainly is for me. But feel free in this live stream platform to continue to share with each other. It's wonderful to pose questions, just to share insights. And at the end of the meditation period, I'll always leave a few minutes to connect back to the group so that we can come together with more understanding. And I'd love to answer any questions that you have around this very, very important theme. So before we move into the meditation practice, I would just like to take a few moments just to say a few words, just so that we can have some context for this, how we can best mindfully manage and begin to understand and hold ourselves to regulate fear as a part of our experience in life. So that initial question, are you ever afraid? My goodness, yes, the answer for all of us. It's such a profound question, because the answer for everyone, no matter how much people seem to have it together, the answer is always yes. And truly, there's so much to be afraid of. There really is. Just to acknowledge that, especially in this last year that we've had, so challenging, full of so many uncertainties, lots of threats, right? Lots of unknowns. But what I'd like to move into now is that when we're not mindfully aware, and we'll establish that in the meditation, and you can see how that feels. When we're not mindfully aware, Fear can completely hijack and take over our awareness, our perspective. It really warps the way that we see things. We don't see things clearly anymore. We don't see the bigger picture, all of our options. And it can really amplify our fears when it hijacks us in this way, when we're not grounded mindfully in the present moment. And I just want to say that fear is universal, as I was saying, and also it's such a profoundly innocent emotion. And it arises, what makes it so innocent, is it arises from this very natural and human need to feel safe and protected. That's something we all need. And we can learn to meet this need in the present moment, really acknowledging this. And that's what this practice is going to be about. So from a mindfulness perspective, there is nothing ever wrong with feeling afraid. It's more about meeting it, feeling it, and holding it, understanding it, and really caring for it in a very different way. We need to feel and honor this very innocent emotion, and then gain much needed balance. It's more about balance. By cultivating the inner resources, we're learning to find and cultivate through mindfulness practice the inner resources of self-compassion and kindness and inner safety as a kind of true refuge and protection that's much needed in this life whenever we feel vulnerable or afraid. So I hope that really helps establish just some basic understanding, kind of warms us up so that we can begin to really have some courage to move into the truth of life and to meet it with kindness, compassion, and with more wisdom. So take a moment now. What I'd like you to do, wherever you are, I'd like you to settle into a posture. This meditation will be about 20 minutes long. So settle into a posture that feels very stable, very secure. Make sure wherever you are, you're in a location where you feel pretty safe, relatively speaking. You don't have to worry too much, right? So make sure that you establish for yourself, for the body and the nervous system in real time, a position in an area, in a place that feels relatively stable and comfortable and supportive to you. And really feel into that. So settle in. I invite you to do so. And we'll start this practice actually with our eyes open. And we'll take some time to orient to our surroundings as part of the practice of becoming more mindfully present as a way to balance with the tendency of our mind to worry, to become afraid. So what I'd like you to do when you settle in, you can kind of lean back a bit, connect into the feeling of the body where you are, exactly how it feels, and get very anchored in the body right now, in the felt direct sense in this moment of how the body right now feels stable and supported in any way that you feel that. Really dropping down into your felt experience in the body. This can really help balance ourselves. And to continue to really open and become anchored into the present moment with our senses. A felt sense of the body connected to the earth. Take a moment now and slow this down, but with your eyes open. I'd love to invite you to peel your eyes away from the Zoom or whatever device is helping you live stream. And I'd love your gaze to just begin to open up to wherever you are. And I'd like you to just take in your surroundings and really pay special attention really rest and connect to anything around you right now that feels stable and supportive to you, no matter how ordinary and simple. Keep this very simple. If you're inside, really look at the walls around you and let it be felt in the body that right now, if you're inside, the body is protected right now in this moment. And let this really register. Let this really sink in. And notice how it calms the nervous system. Let this be part of the practice. And know that you can do this orienting, bringing balance back into what's okay right now in the present moment. Really taking it in. Letting it move into the foreground of awareness. If you're inside, you can look up and you can see maybe there's a ceiling that is covering you, that is allowing for much needed protection. So really take in all of that. If you're outside, perhaps you're outside, take in anything around you that feels supportive and safe and secure. Really feel into these conditions around you. The truth that right now in this moment, tune into and connect to what feels okay and stable just for now. You might want to take one last minute and just notice anything else in your environment that for you registers as supportive. It can be objects that are valuable to you, that are comforting to you. Take in all of it. Really allow your eyes to rest and linger and soak in anything around you that provides a feeling of much needed safety and balance. And take a moment to feel into how is that landing for you in the body, in the heart, as well as in the mind. So taking this time to orient, such a beautiful practice for calming, for establishing outer safety. And when you feel ready and somewhat safe, you can really feel that. Then you will be ready to close your eyes. And I invite you to do that now. To just gently close your eyes. And now let's shift into this practice that allows for more inner safety. A quality of inner safety. Already here just waiting for you to come home to take refuge in. So closing your eyes. And as you rest with your eyes closed, stay connected and anchored in the body. Feel into whatever feels stable and supportive in your physical experience, in the field of your physical experience in this present moment. We are learning through mindfulness to bring balance to our body, heart, and mind by anchoring and balancing into conditions that are real, that we can feel in the present moment, that are wholesome and stable and supportive. Take a moment to feel the earth, however you feel that, wherever your body is resting right now. Take in the support of the earth right there with you every moment. Feel the earth's support, cradling and literally holding the body. And see if you can feel that. The embrace of gravity as well. And when you feel ready, let's begin now to know and find refuge in this good heart, this good and caring heart that brought you to this practice right now that actually wants to take care of you, that wants to keep you safe, that wants to protect you. This heart, like a good, profound friend or inner parent, if you like, always here, waiting and wanting to guide and protect you. So feel into the warm goodness of your own heart. Connect to that wants the best for you, that wants you more and more to trust this life as best as you can, to walk through it with vulnerability, yes, of course, but with some courage, with some inner support. We all need this kind of inner support as we walk through life, and it helps us walk through our fears. So feel that showing up for you and give it a lot of space. Give that quality of your heart that really showed up for you, that brought you here. Give it more space in your awareness. Allow it to really fill your being. And just notice for a moment how it feels to rest in that quality of the heart that is protective, that is caring, that is supportive, like a very good friend. And as support for this practice, inviting you, if you like, if it's helpful, to invite an image of a being in your life. It can be someone you know. It could be an inspirational figure who really, when you turn your awareness to this being, when you invite this being into the field of your experience, that you start to feel safe and protected. And I'm going to give you a little bit of space and really play with this and see what being shows up for you. It can be an animal. It can be an ancestor. It can be a parental figure, if that's appropriate. Remember, we're only inviting a being who, when they show up in our awareness, when we bring them in, their presence, just the thought of them, makes us feel safer, more protected. So as part of this meditation, part of this practice, bring in the support of this being. Whoever shows up, let them become quite vivid in your mind's eye as if they're right here with you right now. And let them join you in this practice. Let them be your partner in walking through, in managing fear. Bring them, join them in, invite them in. And notice how it feels to have them on your side, right here with you right now, protecting you, keeping you safe. And notice how that feels. Know that this is something that you can utilize at any moment. And what you can also realize is that while you're bringing in this quality of a being, this is actually within you, showing up in the form of an external being. But this is actually now embedded in you. It comes deeply from you. You carry it with you wherever you go. But if it's helpful, you can really still bring in that image of that protective figure, that being, and keep that alive in your mind's eye as support. So grounded and anchored in the body, really feeling connected to what feels safe and stable. Also bringing in the support of a protective being, bringing that in. Really feeling into the good heart that brought you. Feeling the support of your own heart that is holding you, wanting the best for you. Giving that a lot of space in your being as well. When you feel ready, you can then really open to whatever fears are just part of your life at this time. Not opening up the floodgates, just opening up the door to what perhaps is hard or frightening for you in any way, just enough, just a crack, so that you can let in the feeling, the experience in real time. Don't open the floodgates. It's not necessary ever, actually. Just open it up a little bit, enough that you can feel into what fear is like in the body. Allow yourself to feel it in the body and acknowledge this is just part of the human condition. It's normal. And that this offers an opportunity for you to cultivate inner resources that can better take care of you in this moment. That can really meet this fear with courage, with compassion, with tenderness and care. Like a great friend, a good parent. And take a moment to notice, where do you feel the fear in the body? Letting go, if you like, the story in the mind of what the fear's about. Let that move into the background just for now. Let all that go. And just feel, where is the fear living most in the body? Maybe you feel it in the chest area, in the heart area, maybe in the belly, or in some part of the back. You know, it's really interesting where it can show up. And then, as a way to cultivate this inner resource that can be such a deep refuge, you can allow the heart to open with compassion and just hold. You can put one or both hands anywhere on the body here where you feel it. You can literally put your hands on that part of the body. Just play with this and see how this feels. And just hold that part of the body like you would a really innocent child that just needs to be held, to be comforted. And just comfort that part of the body, not to fix or make anything go away, but just to really hold yourself through that experience and notice how that feels, to have that kind of inner comfort. Does the fear change into anything else? Does it calm down? Does it feel a little bit more manageable? When you can hold it in this way, just in the body, very innocent, like you would a young child. And you can add some words. You can add some language. Really talking to yourself, talking to this part of you, literally. Like a good parent would to any child that's frightened, scared. I've got you. I'm right here. I've really got you. And I'm not going anywhere. I've got your back. I'll walk through this with you, and we'll do this together. Is there anything around you that you can get support from? What can you learn from this experience? And how can I help you learn that? So that's just an example of some words that you can offer yourself that can walk you through it and help you move through the experience, developing courage, self-compassion, and resiliency in the reality of life. So let's just close the door now. I know we opened it up a crack. Let's close the door on any fears for now. And for this last minute of this meditation period, we'll just directly rest in the body again, feeling the stability of the body, anchoring back in the present moment conditions that you can feel right now, that you can actually connect to, that are stable and supportive and okay right now in this moment. Sometimes I just like to put my hand literally on the earth, and it just gives me such a feeling of inner safety when I do that. It helps me find some balance when I do that. So give yourself so much credit for this time that you've taken, and let's just rest. You can breathe a little bit, and just to reflect in this last minute of this practice, what was that like for you? What did you notice? And most importantly, what did really support for you in any way how to better manage to meet, to acknowledge, and to hold, and to really address the deeper need of what the fear is about? How to establish outer security as well as inner security with a kind and caring and protective heart that wants the best for you. So you can open your eyes. That's the end of the practice. I often ring a prayer bowl, and I'll do that. And as I was saying these last few minutes, it's so beautiful to come together now and to share and to learn from each other. And someone has put in the chat, thank you so much for sharing it. It really helps the group learn. It helps you feel connected. Someone has shared, how can I tell the difference between fear and intuition? Now, this is a really deep and beautiful question. I'll just say a few words about it. If you were somebody that I could talk to in real time, I could ask you some questions, more personal questions about that. But intuition tends to be kind of like tuning into an inner compass. It tends to be a kind of dropping back and down into a deep knowing. Intuition from a mindfulness perspective and from a neurological perspective that they've shown, proven in the research, is that it's really located in the gut. You know how people say you feel that gut knowing? They now know that there's connections between the gut and the basal ganglia, cells of the brain. So intuition is like a gut feeling. It's a deep feeling where we drop down kind of below the mind and all of its, like windshield wipers of the mind that are going back and forth, having trouble knowing what's real. This is dropping down into a deeper truth, right? And so in my experience, intuition is really like an inner compass that we can begin to find our way, especially in our fears. Fear, though, tends to be an experience where we're getting really lost in the waves of life, and we've lost touch with that inner compass. So I really hope that that was helpful to you who asked that question, and also to all of you who are present. It's a beautiful question. But for now, we're out of time. So I just want to thank you for joining me. And remember, what's so great is that you can meditate with Round Glass live, just like this, every single day. Join us tomorrow or anytime. Check us out on round.glass and of course on our app. And I will be back every Wednesday, same time, for my next live session. Until then, be well, be safe, be protected. May we all be protected in this present moment. May you all be safe and protected from inner and outer harm. Thank you.